We will start our journey. So, we were talking about last week, we were talking about suffering. We answered the question, are we suffering every day, every hour, every minute, every second? Just now, you're listening to me, and you may have felt some discomfort in the body. That is also a suffering. Minor annoyances and disappointments accumulate into irritation in our daily life, and we want to get rid of it forever. We feel mental and physical exhaustion, even doing the routine task, through desires and the cravings that keeps popping up in my mind. Sometimes we lack focus. Now I'm not able to concentrate, focus. I will do it some other time. And then the mind is taken over by some other thought. So the sense of hesitation and restlessness continues to build, and they accumulate and create impressions. So today you are irritated because of millions of impressions accumulated in the mind that causes the trigger. And so all these challenges, all these challenges comes due to three factors that we discovered last time. What are these three factors? First is the impurity, desire, emotion, attachment, hesitation, greed, pride or ego, and the delusion. They all come under one category of impurity. And second is the distraction, because I have lot of the thoughts pertaining to the craving, greed, pride, etc. The second category of the problem all naturally arise. What is that natural? Mind is constantly wavering between desire and aversion, attachment and detachment. So that is the second factor that we have been understanding. You have to go and re-listen again and again, especially the last 5 or 6 lessons. So the more you listen to it, the deeper understanding, then what will happen? The moment irritation comes and a thought pops up, and your mind will say, "Oh, this is impurity." So there is a level of self-awareness will pop up, and that self-awareness will minimize your suffering. But if you don't do it, if you say, "Okay, 1 hour is enough," okay, then 1 hour is enough. Then it will take another 50 years. Who knows? Out of many will remain alive. So that is the problem. Master says we are not a seeker. Now understand all these things that I have discussed before. And the third is the ignorance, fundamental ignorance that I don't know my nature. I am peace and happiness. That I don't know. So because I don't know, and it causes the distraction and ultimately the impurities. Today, we have to purify this mind. We have to understand, because the purification of the mind out, we have to minimize reduction of these three factors is of paramount importance in the journey of the self-discovery. Otherwise, the self-discovery cannot happen. I can become a doctor plus a criminal. In Eastern wisdom, this is not a possibility. I become a seeker and still a criminal, not at all possible. Then I'm not a seeker. I'm just giving an example, with excuse to all the doctors. I'm just telling you. I'm a wife, but do not act as a wife. Not possible. I become a seeker and I don't follow what is right in my relationship, then I'm not a seeker. Why it is happening? It is happening because of these three factors. So you have to look a little deeper. When the mind is impure, you have attachment and detachment. So even when you are listening to me, your mind is going to those thoughts of attachment and aversion, and that disturb your focus. That is also an impurity of the mind. I told you we are going deeper and deeper every time. The mind, then another problem is the oscillation of the mind, distraction between the past and the future. A lot of challenges, it comes. It is the impure mind that causes the hesitation and criticism that is responsible for blame and the complaint game. There is no other reason. You remove the impurity and the distraction, there is no question. Then you say, oh, who cares? Why should I blame and complain anyway? Your mind is relaxed and calm, and you are aware that blaming and complaining has to do with the impurity of the mind. I have to live with self-awareness. Say you have an irritation today at this moment because of your honey or some close relations. That is the product of many of these impressions being repeated hundreds of times unconsciously, habitually, and impulsively. And I bet you that you realize later. You get irritated, you become angry, then you repent. Sometimes because of the ego, we don't say sorry to others. But internally we know that, our conscious knows. I became irritated without any reason. Is it not a fact in our life? And then we hide it, we build our pride, and then that is another impurity. So ultimately it continues the cycle. That is how we live our life. So to say, we claim we are so intelligent and wise people in this world. If I don't think and contemplate, I don't point out these three factors every day, every minute. Did I tell you yesterday, this lady, I told you that she, for the first session, in the very first session, I said, what's your problem? She started, my stepdaughter is a bitch. And then she told it causes the anxiety to it. Because you are blaming someone, the ultimate cause is the impurity. So it has been, I think now 7 or 8 sessions. It's a private session. So this week, she started repeating the mantra even when she was cooking the food. She was offering to her husband, and she said that I have been repeating this. Mind has changed. If I don't abide, I should know. Intellectual understanding should be there. But if I don't abide by that knowledge, nothing is going to happen. Then you will listen, you will say, Beard guy is very good guy. It is not going to change you, even if I'm good or bad. You have to change yourself. You have to take over your mind. So we have to identify and reduce our impurities. I have already explained in the last few sessions what are the three factors, how come we live in these three factors all the time, every day, every hour. So I have to identify and reduce impurities. I'm not with you 24/7. If you don't do it, then every session you will say it's a good practice, I have experienced good thing. And after that, after a few hours, your mind is taken over by these three impurities. I have to identify and reduce the impurities. I have to cultivate one-pointedness also. One-pointedness means I have to reduce the distraction. How? First, I remove the impurities, I pinpoint it, then I remember what Buddha said pertaining to these impurities. He said that you cannot travel the path until you become the path itself. I'm repeating again. Remember this. You cannot travel the path until you become the path itself. It is true for the Eastern wisdom, not true for the science. Now you can buy the smartphone. You don't know what is the inner mechanism. It will work. But in Eastern wisdom, I have to know my inner, what is my mind is doing, why you are distracted, why you are blaming and complaining and reacting and hesitating. I have to admit this internally. Admission means I recognize it. Then I recognize it is an impermanent. It is not permanent. They are the impurities. I need not to pay attention. You have to think in this way. If you don't think, what happens? Then you are collecting the knowledge but avoiding transformation. It is like loading a bookshelf without reading it. Sometimes we have in our living room, we buy a very costly bookshelf. We have the bestseller authors, and everyone says, how intelligent this guy should be. But I have never touched a book. It's not going to happen. I have to pierce this veil of delusion. This is all the delusion is. My master used to say, you are upset, you are in delusion. You are distracted, you are in delusion. Your mood swings, you are in delusion. You are into anxiety, you are in delusion. So first intellectual understanding, then I have to abide by the knowledge. That is the one, I said, yesterday she was there. She said, I have been repeating this and I have been so calm. I abide by that knowledge. So I reminded her that you told me in the very first session. Do you remember? And she was ashamed of it. That's a recognition. I was very happy. So that needs to be understood clearly, my friends. If we do not understand, then what happens? These factors are responsible for our obsession, for our habitual repetition of the thoughts, for our impulsive and instinctive action in the world, in relationship, in situations. There is another way to understand it. I gave you a simple example. You are agitated. So it can be categorized into three categories: lowest level, lower level, middle level, higher level. Because of a single thought, for a few seconds, your agitation is at the higher level. That impression goes into the body and remains present for about a week. And that hesitation will blast in your relationship at some situation. Then you will continue to blame others. You will say other is wrong. It will further ripple effect and you are gone. Say you have an idea. Oh, no, my honey is crazy. Now is the time to divorce. This is a single thought. It has already, you have that intensity at a highest level. Now it is going into every cell of the body. How come you know? You can easily know. How? Your expression. your behavior towards your honey changes. That is the truth. That is what we need to realize. Oh, you are not as relaxed as possible because now the thought has entered and created so many impressions. I told you many a times, this lady was telling me, why didn't you meet me 25 years ago? I should not have divorced my husband. We find such an easy solution, divorce. So I married to be happy, and then I'm married to be unhappy. So I divorced to be happy, and I remarried to be happy. That is the journey we are taking. This is because of the three factors. Remember this. This is because of the three factors. I'm lost in attachment. That is one factor. I have a reaction against someone. Loss of attachment in one attitude. I don't like the attitude of the other, so I'm already absorbed in this attachment. So I have an aversion against someone who does not have that kind of an attachment. So that I need to divorce. So I'm not looking at my own mind, how these impurities are taking over. So then comes, we have two groups of methods for the purification of the mind. One group is conventional method. Under the conventional method, we have 6 different groups of practices. And then the second group has the best method. Why don't you start teaching over the best method? You are not eligible for it. Simple. Unless you go through that, first you have to study kindergarten, primary school, middle school, high school, then only you can do PhD. That is how master speaks of it. No, 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 you teach me, I'm very intelligent. Intelligent doesn't work. We need a common sense. Eastern wisdom can be learned and understood by an average intelligence. I need not to have 140 or 150 IQ. But to abide by that knowledge is a challenge. So we have conventional method, conventional practices for mental purification. They may appear like a ritual. I'm going to explain logically, intellectually, and so there are some forms that has to be expressed as a mental attitude, to be expressed behavior and action outside. You can also say, in a rough manner, it is the ethical living. But ethical living here, we pay more attention on our thought, speech, and action. It cleanses the mind. How? We will do some experimentation every week and we will see that whether it purifies the mind or not. You will see it purifies. Second is the charity. Well, I'm just underlining, giving the charity means it's the physical charity, it's the mental charity, it is the emotional charity. Internally, emotionally, I welcome everyone I meet, which the other does not know. That is an emotional charity. Leave aside because we are we have a different opinion about charity as far as the physical charity or donating the money. Yes, that also helps. But in what should be the attitude in offering the money to others? The third group of The conventional method, I will talk in detail about each one and we will see the practical ways. The third method is known as the asceticism, or you can say the penance, or you can say some self discipline in our life. So we don't allow the mind that runs after the impurities, thinks, speaks, and acts out of that impurities. We say no, discipline. Another method is the mental recitation of a mantra continuously. I told you about this example of this lady. She said, I was cooking the food and my mind was constantly, overwhelmingly saying that may there be peace and happiness for all. Then my mind stuck to my stepdaughter. I said, why not she? And my reaction against her dropped. Can it happen in a day? It can happen in a day. It cannot happen. So if it doesn't happen in a day, I have to continue until that change takes place. That is what the mantra repetition is. And obviously, listening and learning these principles from a teacher, or definitely it helps you. Why? Well, how it helps you? It helps you to notice the destructive impulses while listening and learning. You catch, you recognize. Again and again, I'm repeating the teachings so that your mind reaches to a point where it says, why I'm doing this. So, listening and learning constantly from a teacher also helps you to investigate their root. Mother, you are 45 years old. You are also a woman. That stepdaughter is also a woman. Your mind starts looking at the root. Well, we both are of the same gender. At her age, she is doing her own thing and I'm doing my own thing. So why I should say that she is a bitch? It comes by listening and learning. It content. So your mind, the teacher hits your mind that is filled with the aversion. But he does it silently by explaining these principles. Well, if it is not hit, you hit the teacher, so you leave the session. One way or the other. Both way it works. Conventional practices of meditation. There are a lot of practices in this journey of the meditation. That is what we are going to pick up from our next session. We may take up one more session about why three factors are called sufferings in daily life. Why and how I become crazy, lazy, and obsessed in daily life. That is, the three factors are responsible. And after that, we will pick up each, uh, uh, each and every step and their applications. So close your eyes. We'll start with the practice. Eyes are closed. So the first stage of practice begins now. The place, find out the best place, which you think is the best place. I'm not giving you any idea. Then the position of the body should be such that you don't feel any sense of comfort and then you don't feel any sense of discomfort. And the third is the posture of the body. Posture may be anything, lying, sitting, whatever you feel. It will help you. That is the place, position, and posture. I'm just using the three words, and you abide by that understanding. Abiding means you are looking at the place which is not causing you any problem. You are looking at the position of the body, and then you are looking at the posture. The way you are, the way you are. Your body is there. So that helps you to raise your self-awareness. Nothing, it is, or everything is happening in the mind at a deeper level. And now we will understanding moving the mind inward, moving the mind within. So here we are aware that there is no stress and struggle with the body. How do we know? By the intellect. So when we are aware of there is no struggle, there is already a comfort. But then we reassert. How? By looking at or moving the mind on the shoulder joints, being there, feeling, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now the thought has distracted you, you do it again. That is how the penance and self discipline works. You followed, your mind followed my instruction without any distraction. You have done it. But if there is a distraction, then look, go back again, look at the shoulder joint again. That is how the practice has to be modified. Look at the shoulder joints again, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Look at the hip joint, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. I'm repeating again. Look at the hip joint, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Even if it is not comfortable, you repeat it again, third time. And you will discover when there is no distraction at the subconscious level, you feel the comfort. There's nothing to be done in this step. Look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Look at the entire body, feeling the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now you don't feel that sensation. Maybe you feel the sensation only in one part of the body and not on the other. So again, move the mind slowly and gently from the top of the head to the toes. And again, you find that, okay, I feel comfort in only one side of the body, not the other. Why? Because of the three factors are still working deeper into your mind. That is the only reason. Otherwise, you're not doing anything. I'm not asking you to jogging and do the faster activity. But still, it is not happening. It is because of our own mind. And then to treat the mind in a passive way, we say being carefree. Thoughts are coming and going. Let the thoughts come and go. So I can only explain by the metaphor that like the traffic on the road, so there is a mental traffic of the undesirable thoughts and unwanted thoughts, it's okay. And now you are standing across a road watching the traffic. So you are standing across the mind, means I'm aware as an observer. That means you are standing across the road and watching the traffic. If you watch the traffic while entering into it, accident will take place. And that is what happens with the mind. So simple. Any thought, good, bad, high, low thought is coming and going. You let them come, you recognize them and accept it, but you don't chase them. Why? You are standing across the road. Can you chase a single car on a heavy traffic? No. The car is moving. It's gone. It has come, it has gone. Same way these thoughts have come and have gone. It happens if we are not attached. If we are attached, then these thoughts will continue to come and will take your mind away. So, my friends, thoughts are coming and thoughts are going. They are staying. You are aware. That is the simple. Now, the mind in the beginning, because of the three factors, does not help us to succeed in such a simple passive step. So, we take some active step. And that active step is the breathing. So, you look inside the forehead in the space. Good. And keep looking into the space and start breathing quick and short breath into the chest through both your nostrils. I have been repeating the same step again so that you become very much familiar and you should start experiencing the change by the same step. That will build a belief in your mind. So continue, start breathing and you continue breathing through both the nostrils. But remember, how are you doing the chest breathing correctly? Every time you breathe in, you inhale, your chest expands, and every time you exhale, the chest contracts. Continue. Continue breathing, your mind will object to it. But now you are going to be a seeker, so what should I do then? You endure it and you keep on doing it. The mind will say no, and you say gently yes, recognize and accept the changes and keep on doing it. Now stop this breathing. Do nothing. Remain as you are. Recognize and accept the changes in terms of the sensation and the experiences. Keep looking inside the forehead, and there we remind ourselves, as this women repeated, Asatoma Satagami. Whenever you have the anxiety, duality, and a conflict, these three factors attack you, you say first in your mind, Asatoma Satagami. What it means, moving from the false to the real. Even at this moment, any other thoughts are interrupting you simply recognize I have to move from the false to the real. And what is false? Thoughts keep on changing. What keeps on changing, which is dependent on something else, is false. You simply say in your mind, any thought comes and you say that it is false. Why? It will raise your awareness and it will minimize the impact of that thought. I'm giving you a very pragmatic approach. Otherwise, you already know the meaning. Asato ma sat gamaya. Meaning false from the real. Whatever is changing is unreal. So whatever changing in my mind at present, I'm aware of is unreal. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Second line we should remember either in English or Sanskrit. Meaning is moving from ignorance to wisdom. We are questioning why mind you have unwanted, undesirable thoughts even at this moment when I have decided to meditate. You think gently, I'm simply saying you. That is the part of the contemplation. Any thought comes, you first have this thought. Oh, why? And the remedy, that is ignorance, I move to the wisdom because I have questioned it. Now looking at the head and the neck. Now we move the mind slowly and gently. Move the mind on the skin of the head and the neck. So when the mind, as if it moves on the skin of the head and the neck, you feel uprising of the sensation, sometime tingling and sometime numbness. You recognize and accept them. Right? We are settling the mind. The mind moves on the head and the neck. You experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm as if the mind is moving on the skin of the left arm. Experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the entire rib cage in the front and the back. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the belly, all around. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind or allow the mind to touch the skin of the right leg from the right side of the waist to the toes. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind is aware or looking at the body as if you are looking at the body from outside, as if I am the way I'm looking at your body, so you are also looking at the body objectively. This is known as objectively. And in that state, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So become aware of the space all around the body. It is already there, it is empty. Now become aware of the body and experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So we go within, we find the breath. Deeper than the body is the breath. Subtler than the body is the breath. So you're looking at the breath. When you look at the breath, you find breath is moving in and out. Again, explore the movement of the breath. First is the breath is going in and out. Second is you feel the sensation. Fourth is, third is every time the breath goes in, you drop Om Shanti. Breath comes out, you drop Om Shanti. Now there is a caveat. What is that caveat? Any thought comes. First thing you do, you superimpose Om Shanti on that thought and check the thought dissolves and then continue Om Shanti. If it doesn't come, so you are doing Om Shanti with the breath going in and out. Is it happening in the state of total stillness in the body? It will work. Sometimes we forget because of the thought or falling into unconscious sleep. You remember, you return again, say Om Shanti with every breath going in and out. And any time any thought comes to the mind, you just say Om Shanti. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We share our experiences so that our learning progresses. Yes, how are you, Charlie?
Hi, Girish. Um, yeah, I'm aware, I'm becoming more and more aware of how constantly, incessantly busy my mind is all the time, all the time. And so during this meditation, I was getting sort of like an anxious feeling in my stomach. I was observing it, and then I'd think, oh, just go away. And I was like, no, you can't do that. I'm observing it. I'm observing it. But I'm getting a
Yeah,
lot of very strong body sensations that
yeah.
I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching them. I'm watching them. I wish they'd go away. I wish they'd go away. But I know if I do that, that's going to backfire.
Yes. And that's a right approach. You are progressing. We are raising our awareness of the mind, what is happening at the deeper layers. And that is a good step ahead. Beautiful. How are you, John, sir?
Hey, Girish. I was fine for about half the practice, and then the landline started ringing, and that threw me off for a few minutes. And I just need to remember to say Om Shanti when that happens.
You see how the mind cheats us?
Yeah.
And we take it for granted. That is why we have highlighted the three factors. Yes, even after some time, you remind yourself and recall. That's a good step. How are you, Anne? You have to unmute, and yes.
Yeah, I feel very quiet. Feel quiet and peaceful,
Good.
and try to remember to get back to that feeling all the time I can, or and
Yes, yes,
if it's necessary, at moments
yes.
to try
That is, yes, that is a beautiful.
to this
If you,
sense
if
of
you, yeah,
quietness.
if you remind yourself that I was in peace in that meditation, why the peace is disturbed, and you will recognize one of these three factors, and you drop them, and then you go back to the same level of the peace. Beautiful. How you meet? Yes, try, try. Don't get upset. That is also coming from the three factors. That level of awareness we need to tackle this mind. Okay, no problem. She folded her hand in Namaste. It means everything is good. So we will meet again next week. Thank you. Uh, thank you.